Romans 13, verse 11 says, "And do this, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awaken out of sleep. For now our salvation is nearer than when we first believed." Now, in this verse, Paul calls believers to have an urgency about spiritual alertness. He is writing to Christians in Rome at the time, and he is encouraging them to recognize of how important it is to live a godly life. The phrase here, knowing the time. Now, this emphasizes the need for believers to be aware of the spiritual and moral state of the world around them, also as well as the unfolding of God's plan. Paul here, he urges the church to wake up from any spiritual complacency or indifference. Here it says, to awaken out of sleep. Now, this is a metaphor for becoming spiritually vigilant. Sleep, in this context, represents a state of spiritual dullness. This is where they may be unaware or they're unresponsive to the calling of God in their lives. Paul is saying it's time to rise from that state and to take action. The world is filled with distractions, temptations, and struggles that can make us lose focus on our walk with Christ. But Paul here, he's reminding them that time is short and that they must remain alert and committed to living out their faith with purpose and urgency. Then here it says, "For now our salvation is nearer than when we first believed." This refers to the final fulfillment of God's plan of salvation when Jesus returns. While we are already saved through faith in Christ, Paul is speaking about the future completion of that salvation. This is when Christ will return to judge the world and then to fully establish his kingdom. Each day brings us closer to that moment, so we must live in readiness with our eyes fixed on eternity, not of the things of this world. This verse here, this challenges us to examine our own lives. Are we spiritually awake? Are we living with a sense of urgency and devotion to Christ? Or have we allowed the cares of this world to pull us into complacency? Paul's message is clear. Now is the time to be vigilant, to live righteously, and to be prepared for Christ's return, because our salvation is drawing near.